Hi everyone, I'm Lisa from Fitology 101, and today we have an interview with Zlata from SexyFit. If you are not familiar with SexyFit, SexyFit is an online-based fitness coaching program for women. And today's interview is a little different because Zlata and I were not able to get together in person, so it is all audio. Ironically, we both live in San Diego, but when I asked her for an interview, it was during the week of Lewis Howes' book signing for his School of Greatness. Now, Zlata did go through the School of Greatness. It is an 8-week online program that Lewis Howes gives. We did not go a lot into that, but you can probably safely assume that a lot of the principles that she puts into practice for her business, she learned from the School of Greatness. And it was an amazing book signing. I have one picture of us from the book signing. I'll try to throw some more pictures of Zlata in during the interview while you're listening to us. But I hope you find it really helpful. And I will try to bring more interviews to you of online-based fitness programs. I know that's a huge thing. There's a big culture of work from anywhere. And if you have an online business, you can pretty much work from anywhere, especially if it is a service-based coaching business versus a brick and mortar or a product-based type of service. First question is, can you tell us a little bit more about your origin story and why you picked SexyFit and why you wanted to go into the online space?
Oh, that's like 3 different amazing questions. Lisa, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to keep the story as short and brief as I possibly can because it can get really messy in there when you move countries. So when I was 16 years old, my mom moved to the U.S. because she was a traveling journalist. And because she's a pretty exciting lady, she actually ended up settling up in Alaska. And I moved with her, and I was in Alaska for a number of years. And I actually moved to the States without speaking a word of English, and that has been a journey for me of personal growth and trying to figure out how to make friends and really transition from living in Russia, where you're fully functional individual, and transitioning into the U.S. schools where you have to have like mom sign your paper to watch a movie in class. So that was interesting. And when I first moved to the U.S., I had trying all the different American foods and different things, and ended up gaining about 30 pounds very gradually. So that prompted me into trying to pursue some kind of like weight loss situation, because here I am, 16 years old. I'm new to my high school, and I'm uncomfortable in my weight, and that was really difficult and different for me. And my only friend at the time, literally my only friend, was like, "Hey, I'm doing a bodybuilding show next month. Let's do together." I'm like, "Well, bodybuilding show? Like, you kidding? I've never ran a mile before." So, long story short, I ended up doing the show. I lost the weight. I felt great. And of course, my first show ended up being a fiasco, but it really sparked some interest down the road in competing in bodybuilding shows that turned into a fitness career, full-blown fitness career. I've done over 26 fitness shows, countless races. I've won 3 overall awards. I've competed nationally, internationally. And it was an interesting story for me with something that started out as like, hey, let's just try this, that turned into a career down the road. And but the twist on SexyFit doesn't actually start there. Well, it starts there, but it doesn't actually, it's not how it all started. So as a fitness competitor, I was doing really well, and I was really focused on winning. I took that career very seriously, and I followed some very traditional approach to health and fitness. When we get hardcore, it's chicken, rice, and broccoli, 2 hours of cardio a day. I was in the gym lifting 5-6 times a week. Literally had no life outside of my full-time career, full-time going to school for my master's degree and bachelor's degree. I competed all through college, and really, what happened was I turned on overdrive, and I started following more of the Instagram models, and I started paying a lot of attention to social media, started paying a lot of attention to where everyone is placing, and I started really treating it with almost a degree of obsession. And it's sad to say that I kind of did this to myself, but really it's the truth. And what happened, I ended up actually suffering from adrenal fatigue, hypothyroidism, overtraining. I really ended up in a bad spot. And this is where the SexyFit was born, because I honestly thought I was healthy. And like my doctor said at the time, like, you're the worst kind of healthy because you actually think that you're healthy and think that you're doing everything right. So I never wanted another woman to experience something like that again. And I knew that online space was a big opportunity for me to speak on these issues of adrenal fatigue, hypothyroidism, hormonal issues, traditional fitness industry issues, and really help women in a different capacity from a normal quote-unquote fitness trainer in the gym, because I was also a personal trainer for a number of years before that. So, I've relived all the cycles of fitness, to losing initial weight and getting healthy, to really getting in an unhealthy place with it at 10-11% body fat, to now actually coaching women how to find their balance, how to create sustainability in their life, and what method actually does work and does stick for life, and most importantly adding a layer of community to it, because that's the most important piece of it all for me. So kind of a long answer around your question, but hopefully that covers it.
No, that was great. It's so great that, you had that personal experience and you can help relate that to other people. I think that makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. That's what we aim to do here, because I've been on so many different spectrums, from the initial motivation for weight loss, being an unhealthier diet, and feeling uncomfortable, to overtraining, and really that piece. And, we grow most from personal experiences, and we can relate 100% better to our community because of those experiences. And that's why I believe SexyFit has been so impactful.
Great. And, I read on your profile on your page that you worked in the fashion industry before moving into fitness in this online space. How much research did you do before you took the plunge and, quit your other job?
It was actually interesting. It was an interesting transition for me, because I worked for a corporate. This is kind of the story that there's only so much you can fit on a website. I worked for a corporate company. I worked for an oil company. I was a contract manager, and I lived in Alaska at the time. And after a really good moment with self, there was a little bit of wine involved. I decided that I really wanted to take the plunge and move to San Diego, because I didn't really enjoy my job. I've competed for a number of years, and I wanted to be closer to the team that I later ended up competing with and had great luck with. And I really just wanted to do something different. I knew I wasn't really born to sit at a desk. And it's like I was looking around, and I'm like, I don't fit in. It's like, it's just not my jam. And I moved to San Diego, no job, no friends, no connections, no network. I left an amazing network in Alaska, and actually ended up jobless for about 3-4 months. And I found the job in the fashion industry and ended up traveling Hong Kong, Milan, St. Petersburg fashion weeks. The only fashion week I haven't been to is New York. And then I realized that I kind of manifested myself that job. I'm a very big believer in manifestation and power of positive thinking. And I was like, you know what, that's not really what I want to do. And where do I really want to be? And the plunge really took about a year. It was a year of plunging constantly. I tried myself in a variety of different careers and a variety of different, even like, hey, let me just make some money. I bartended. I worked for a digital agency. I volunteered for a fashion company. I worked in brand development for digital companies, and just none of it was really it. And then I realized that I have to start my own thing. And I knew that I wanted to do an online thing, and I didn't know a darn darn thing about online space. I didn't know what a squeeze page was. I had no idea that people are called leads. I had no idea that people are called prospects. I didn't know how to sell on the phone. I had no idea what I was doing. So I took the plunge after literally failing multiple times at different careers that I didn't want to do anymore because I was just so miserable from my cubicle hell of a job that I was like, I'm never doing anything in my life I don't want to do again. And it's kind of the rule I still live by. I have very clear boundaries with people and expectations and how I live my life. So that's kind of the story there.
Yeah, that's amazing. What did you do to get yourself up to speed, and what would you advise somebody else if they wanted to kind of follow in your path?
I also, there's like a little side note. I also, when you see, yes, of course, we all dream of having the job that we want, the doing what we love and enjoying every moment. And, before starting a business, I have an MBA. I have an executive MBA in strategic leadership. And I have to say that doesn't mean anything. That is not where you start. Mm-hmm. And if I was to take a sober look back at how I was budgeting my funds on my education, particularly because I do have a $100,000 education, and I will have to say that I'm not really sure if that's what made me a really good business owner. I'm not saying I'm like really amazing here, but we've done some amazing things, but I don't think it was really a part of the reason why it's been so successful. It hasn't been that particular resource. So if you're one of those people who's sitting there and is like, I need another certification, I need another degree, and I need another this and another that. Of course, in certain areas like health and fitness and wellness, you have to hold certain certifications, or other areas, yes, that's needed. But certainly hiding under, I'm just going to school is really not going to make you a better business owner. The only way that you get better at this thing, if you keep doing it every day, day in and day out. So does that kind of make sense, Lisa?
Yeah, that's really great. So it's really, actually getting in and doing the work and not worrying about getting that formal education, just being brave. Right?
Absolutely. Here's where you start. Here's your starting point. I believe that everybody needs to envision their best life. And it's not necessarily even the material things. It's how do you envision your perfect work environment? How do you envision your work-life balance? How do you envision, how big is your team? Do you sit in an office? Do you own a building? Do you own a city? Did you build up Nevada? You know what I mean? Like Tony Hsieh did. What is your vision for you and your business? Because a lot of us can get stuck in reading all these amazing books about $100 million, billion-dollar companies and saying, well, I can't wait to have that, what's that success look like? We don't really know. Or is that the right success for me? Because there's a major difference between being a lifestyle entrepreneur, being a startup entrepreneur, being a tech entrepreneur, or being a business owner. They're different things, and we have to see which life that we envision for ourselves and then go ahead and make a plan that will make sense for that particular lifestyle. I did not intend to start my company as a quote-unquote lifestyle business. Mm-hmm. I don't want to work 10 to 20 hours a week and make six figures or multiple six figures. I have a bigger vision than that, which is why I know taking advice from a lifestyle entrepreneur and certain strategies is not going to work for me, because I'm after becoming a number one resource for women to get the information that they need in regards to healthier, happier, sexier lifestyle, and being the biggest online fitness coaching company with actual coaches on staff. So I'm not, I'm after a very specific dream that probably hasn't even been done before in some space that it has, mm-hmm. but that gives me something to look forward to and something to look at mm-hmm. when I'm trying to strategize and build my business. So that's a number one step.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I think that's really important for people just to think about the lifestyle rather than just go out and just build a website, right? Because everyone just says, you can make so much money in online, which maybe you can, maybe you can't, but that's not really good advice. So thanks for that.
You can absolutely make money in online space, but I think a lot of people also absolutely mistaken how much work it really takes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yesterday I did my launch of the 21-day SexyFit makeover program, right?
Mm-hmm.
But rarely do we see how much behind the scenes goes into this. It's a 4-month launch. It was a launch of our super successful podcast. We built a list out of that podcast. Then the product actually has been in the making since July.
Mm-hmm.
There has been over $1,000 worth of even editing time. I'm not even counting my time. Then we're talking about thousands of dollars in design. Then we're talking about designing lead pages, Facebook ads. We're talking about copywriting for all the email copy that went out. We're talking about copywriting for Facebook ads. We're talking about copywriting for Instagram. We're talking about multiple different back-end funnels. I mean, you can't show up to online.com space and just expect that I don't know what is the rating of your show, but I'm going to use the word, and show up for your shit and show up and expect for all your shit to just explode overnight. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just not going to happen. Feel free to bleep me on that. But I have a friend who just launched his supplement company on Black Friday and didn't get a single order. It's because he didn't do the launch right. And they have another friend who makes $100 million a year doing his online supplement sales. So there's a strategic approach to everything, and it's not that easy to make money in online space. It is a full-time job to do 2 launches, 3 launches a year.
I'm so glad you said that. And last question is, just for people going into this, I'm glad you touched on that, on the financial considerations. How much realistically should they think about if they just want to model what you're doing and do something similar? Should they budget for pushing out a program, even just pushing out a website? And when do you think they can get any return on investment?
Oh my gosh, it really depends on your plan. I mean, you just asked me how to make $1 million overnight, or like how to get in shape in 3 days. Let me try to break this down. So I do believe that you can do everything for $0 when you're starting, and I think the more money that you have when you're starting out, the more money you're going to blow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure, because you'll just pay for things because it doesn't seem like a big deal when you have a lot of cash.
I have also a friend who just got $100,000 invested into his company, and they spent $20,000 on creating a website. And I told him, are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? If there's an amazing book that's called The Lean Startup, and that's the principles that I 100% go after and look up at. It's the Lean Startup process. You can test and you can ask, what does your customer want before you actually make that product, and that will make it easier for you to budget. I can't budget. I can't offer a good budget for you because I don't know what you're creating. Of course, there's going to be a different cost. So I can't really budget that for you because I'm not your customer. And it's easier to budget something when your customer told you what they need from you. Because if we're looking at online space specifically, if you're doing an ebook, that's a different budget. If you're doing something like an online video course, that's a different style of investment. If you are looking into a full online course with videos, or you're looking into like a membership site, those are all different types of investment of time and money are the biggest resources. So, my biggest suggestion is to really take a look at your customer, ask them what they want, and if you have an idea of creating Lisa, people who are listening, what would they be after? Like, are we talking to health coaches or business coaches or fitness coaches?
It could be anything. So Fitology 101 is just for women who are interested in making fitness a career, whether it is campus recreation or a health club or online space.
Okay, so it's really easy to narrow down your target audience, right? It's really easy to say, I want to work with a mom who is between 30 and 60, between 30 and 35, what struggle did they go through? And then it's really easy to find those communities online and just ask, what are you struggling with? Where can I help you? How let's say, like, I know a lot of women in business who have a list, but they have no idea how to sell to that list. Well, have you ever sent a survey? Have you ever asked them what they want? I mean, send them a survey and ask them what they're struggling with. How much weight do they want to lose? Are they working out? Or are they not working out? Are they running? Or are they weight training? Are they, do they have eating problems? Do they have supplement problems? And they will tell you everything that you need to know. I mean, I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent in customer interviews before we created SexyFit as what it is now. And be flexible with your business model as well. But, you know, it's also like, don't quit things halfway when they get hard. There's a major difference there. But know that your product is going to go through multiple different revision. I started at writing 6 months gym-focused programs for women.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't written a gym-focused program in the last year and a half. Because guess what? My client didn't want to go to the gym. So why would I be selling them a gym program?
Exactly.
You're going to naturally attract people to come to you. And when they show up, they want something from you specifically. So all you need to do is listen. Or after you conduct 10 customer interviews, you'll pretty much have an idea of what they actually want. And that's how you create your main bread and butter product. And that's how you create your lead magnets and tripwires and online courses and video courses and YouTube content and Instagram content and Facebook content. You don't pull this out of the sky and magically know how all of that content is going to go. Your client is going to tell you what they need, and that's what you're going to write about. That's what entrepreneurship is about. So if you're getting into business because it's, you know, it feels good to your ego or because of selfish reasons, don't get confused, because your customer is your boss and they will fire you any second. And it's up to you to jump around, run around, and people please everybody because you're now living in the life of service. And if you don't have business, that means that you're not serving anybody other than serving yourself or talking about yourself. I mean, this is maybe the harsh truth, but that's the truth. If you have 1 million subscribers, you're serving 1 million people. If you have 100 subscribers, you're serving 100 subscribers. That's how helpful you are. It just measures the amount of help that you put out in the world and how relevant it is to the customer that you're trying to target. And it's not slapping 15 different pieces of content against the wall and none of it connects. It's putting procedures and putting content in order in calendars and making sure that it all matches and it all realigns. Otherwise, you just end up in an overwhelmed mess, not knowing what to write about because you quote unquote don't have inspiration or you don't know what your customer wants. Then it's up to you to serve. It's up to you to understand what they need and want, and it's up to you to create that product. That's how you're going to end up making money.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much. This was really valuable, and you've been very generous with your time because I know we went really over, and your knowledge, and thanks for sharing all of your experience. I know everyone's going to find this really useful.
Lisa, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate being here. I apologize if I wasn't able to give more, but I'm sure we'll be chatting in the future sometime. And to everybody who wants to know more, feel free to email us, and my assistant can do what she does and answer any questions that you have.
Great. Thanks.
You are so welcome.
Thanks for listening. I know that was a little different, just listening to audio during a vlog, but I hope you found it useful. You got some information. And if you want to speak with Zlata, she's very generous on, if you go to her website, you can sign up for a 15-minute consultation with her. It is absolutely free, and she is super friendly and very giving of her time and her knowledge. If you are interested in making fitness a career, remember to sign up below. I will be launching the Fitology 101 membership site in June of 2016. And that's going to have a lot of great information about how to transition, how to open up your own gym, how to start an online business, and it really has a lot of great resources on there to get you up and going no matter what area of fitness that you want to go into. In the meantime, if you want, subscribe to my channel below. Every Monday I post fitness tips for writers, and Wednesdays I do fitness product reviews, and on Fridays I do beauty blogs. So have a great week, and I'll see you later.